what you're getting, yo.
So much ice on, I could be an Eskimo.
I think I gotta be back here to talk anyway, so I can be by the microphone. Most of you know, but all of you that don't listen, Russian is out of my life. Almost. She said she was going to a guy's house, friend, for 4th of July weekend. It's a guy she used to sleep with. That on top of her communication with me the week prior was really low in comparison to what it normally was. I kind of already had it in my head that she was talking to other people, you know, and so I just fucking didn't want anything to do with that shit. And she tried to spark a conversation about World War III, and I was like, yeah, you know, it's by design, I'm sure. She asked me to elaborate. I was like, I don't want to talk about it. It's too complicated. It's too critical. And she said that no matter what, we'll be friends, right? Recovery friends. We're both in recovery. And my response was, yup. And that was it. Like I just left it at that. And I was done. She started reaching out again. Like 2-3 weeks later, she reached out and said something along the lines of, she felt disrespected when I called her a dork. She didn't want to be in a relationship with someone who disrespects her. And it's bullshit, right? I think she's covering up the fact that she's talking to like a bunch of different guys at the same time. So, anyway, I tried to tell her that dork, like I call a lot of my friends, anyone that's in my circle, they become a dork at some point. And, you know, term of endearment, right? Apparently not. So, and then she sent this other text like a week or so later. Because I don't, like after I said what dork meant, she still responded, you know, like you don't tell a woman dork. You don't call a woman dork. It's like, dude, I'm not even going to respond to this shit. And then like another week or two went by and she asked for her forgiveness. But in a really, really cryptic way. Like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And so that was kind of my text. I was like, man, this stuff is for like an actual conversation. We already got a lot of miscommunication going on. And then she sent me a song a couple weeks later. And I don't know, I was just frustrated, so I said, fine, yep, you know, thanks for the song, appreciate you expressing yourself in that way. And that was it. And so, I don't know, a lot of weak sauce. I got a lot of disgust for her, frankly. I'm very ambivalent towards her. Like, there's part of me that sees her soul, like her wholeness, you know, like the spark that we all have, or we all are, but then there's just her personality and like the way she uses men to gratify who knows what needs. If she's anything like mine, she uses the opposite sex to numb out her abandonment, sexual trauma, anything else that's kind of like hiding under that surface for connection, or that surface need for connection, you know? And people don't understand that there's a surface need. It's like, oh, I need to connect. Like, no, that need to connect is built on all this garbage. And like, you're like, kind of like, you know, building a city on top of a burial site, right? Like it's, oh look, it's just a city, but as soon as you go down its foundation, you start pulling out graves and stuff, dead spirits or whatever. So, anyway, I'm developing a packet for her. I've never done it to this extreme. Usually, when I'm done with a relationship, I like to acknowledge my bad behavior in a relationship, like there's always things I can do better, right? Like, hey, I should have confronted this issue right away. Like with her, I could tell right away she was starting to play mind games and trying to plant seeds to like guide my thinking, which is really disrespectful for me. But I get it. She's arrogant. She thinks she knows how to do that shit better than other people. So, like that's something I'll probably write down. Like I'm arrogant, right? So I'm like, hey, my arrogance was, I don't know, I'll figure it out. But there's things I didn't approach because I like to have like a few data points before I say something. Like, so if I think someone's lying, like that was one of her things. She said she doesn't judge people, which to me just means she's really, really judgmental. People that say that are full of shit, like 98% of the time. So instead of saying that, I don't believe people when they say that, and then starting to expand on what I mean by that, like, a lot of people have like a list of, like I have a list of what I kind of want my future relationship to look like as far as character traits I think are compatible with me. Someone that meditates and maybe prays, and I mean really just has a natural desire to stay fit. I like fit women and someone that can keep up with my sexual appetites, obviously. I don't care about how much money they make. I don't care about their religion. I guess none of that matters. Those are all selfish things, right? Like the fitness and the gym, those are all based on judgment. The sex thing, that's based on judgment and my own selfish needs. The meditation thing, I think that's conducive to a healthy relationship because it builds a connection that's on a higher level, like a different level than what our words can communicate. And also, like if I go like a month or two without meditating, it's like I sink down into some old character behaviors that they're just not as productive, right? Like they're energy draining. They rub people the wrong way. They're self-defeating. Whereas if I meditate regularly, I climb out of those behaviors and I begin to interact with the world differently, and I have more peace, a little more peace and focus, quality focus for my work. So I think meditation, when brought into a relationship, is the same way, right? So I think that one's good. But the rest of it, a lot of that's just selfishness. Like I have these desires I want to be fulfilled by another person. And the question is, can another person fulfill those? Like what if I do find someone fit, but they get hurt really bad and they can't exercise anymore and they get unattractive to me, like do I bail out on them, And I think the only reason I would stay in a relationship like that would be guilt. Like in my heart, like I want to get the fuck out of here. Like, this is gross, So I'm an asshole too. But I'll acknowledge my parts in this particular situation. But I do that with all my relationships. But then the other two, I just started doing this like 5 years ago. There's been two women, Emily and Emily, that have filled this, that I've done this with. But I noticed neither one of them responded back with their version, right? Like they're just like, oh, don't worry about it. And I was kind of expecting like, well, where were you fucking selfish, bitch? Where were you fearful? Like, where were you dysfunctional in your behavior or lack of fear of conflict? But they don't. They didn't anyway. That shit's just really, it's gross. It's really gross. I'm not willing to have a woman with that low of integrity in my life at all. And I'll guarantee you this one will do the same thing. So the difference that I have in this one is I'm gonna write down my projections that I carried into the relationship, like the listing, being selfish, and some other things. But I'm gonna make a note of like some of these are gonna be my projections. Some of these were things I saw in you. I don't know if they're mine or not, but here's what I saw. And they're my judgments, observations, but judgments. But they're keeping her sick. Like I think they're keeping her sick, and that's based on my personal past, where those behaviors, intentions, drives were keeping me sick. And my sponsors and shit, and 12-step programs, the way I spun things on them, they never picked up on that. Like they were just stupid. That's one of the biggest flaws in the 12-step community is like their sponsorship. They take you through the literature and steps and stuff. So you're supposed to call them and present your life to them, so that they can offer their opinion. They get more towards recovery. The problem is their only information is coming from you. And they don't have information from the other person that you're talking about, right? The other party. So it's really just kind of a wasted effort. Like on occasion they might say it sounds like you're afraid or you're being selfish or something like that, but a lot of times, especially nowadays, especially with this Anya, that's this yeah, that's right, I said her name. There's a stupid fucking thing going around recovery, it's called like, oh well, that's my truth. That's my truth. It's my truth. And then they list a judgment, right? It's my truth. Or here's my judgment of you, but it's my truth. Which is like a way of saying you can't argue with my truth. Like just grow some balls and say you're being judgmental. Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not hiding behind my truth. But it's real low integrity behavior to me. And like it's become culturally accepted in 12-step communities, and it's disgusting. So, because it's not the truth, it's your fucking bullshit is what that is, and you don't have the courage to look at it. So you defend it with words like the truth. It's like pussy ass shit. So there's my white trash, pussy ass shit stuff coming out. I got some new materials. No idea what I'm gonna do. The tattoo piece is done. Right? Did you guys see that? I can't remember if you did. I don't know. It's heavy. I don't want to bring it out here. It's like 80 pounds. He better be working on my fucking tattoo. I gave him the image of a tattoo I wanted. It's sick. So we'll see what happens. The fuck else? I broke my first, I made a milestone in my business, my other business, the one I pay the bills with. And the milestone was $1,000 day. I had my first $1,000 day. That was really cool. And then a week later, I broke another milestone, which was my first $1,000 an hour. So I know one of the things that Anya judged me about is financial stability, because I'm building a business from nothing after a global pandemic, the likes of which the world has never seen. She is judgy about me not having money, I think. That for sure, though, at a minimum, is a projection, because I was judgy about me not having money. I'm not gonna lie, like struggling or having money has been a struggle for me. A lot of it's because I've had so many self-destructive behaviors that would just, destroy those opportunities. A lot of self-doubt, though. The self-doubt was a big one. Not having confidence in my ideas. Like with Max Claims, it's none of that process has been comfortable, like I had a small amount of equipment left from my crypto mining business, and when I started building it in April. When I started building max claims in April, and I knew that chances are I was going to be late on rent like a couple times. You know, I was really pushing out the utilities, like just I was really managing the money. I guess I was the CFO for a little bit. I just had to keep pushing things back until I got caught up, you know, with work coming in and payment. So, which just happened, so that's great. And then, my point being though, like, I knew that was going to happen, and I was like, this is the risk I'm going to take. Like, I am willing to accept that risk that I'm going to piss off my landlords and not be able to pay rent on time for this business to get going. And I'm glad I did, because, you know, I have a few more months to like make a ton of cash for the winter, which we'll get to that in a second too. Or maybe I should save this for a different video, but I forgot. I guess we will save it for a different video. Remember, Ryan, max claims, make that down here, max. Let's do some art. That's one of the things I tend to do. Anya was Russian, right? But she was part of the Intelligentsia, I think, of the Soviet Union, which means like high echelon, top of the food chain in the Communist Party. That's the way I understand it. So they had a really nice place, a nice apartment in Moscow, right? Which is a beautiful city, rich, high-end city. I'm sure where they were anyway. And then her whole day was filled with school. So she would do like our public school, but then also do extracurricular school for like piano, violin, guitar, art, language, like whatever. So she had a lot of, she just grew up in a different environment that I did. Like, yeah, she was a communist, but, which is supposed to be, everyone's supposed to be poor, but she was in the military in a way. And so, she's kind of like a bourgeoisie, stuck up, high expectation type stuff, maybe not stuck up, but definitely high expectation. So now anyway, every time I'm going to think of a Russian woman, I'm going to be like, oh, selfish, super selfish to the core, dishonest, likes to play mind games, right? I don't know if that's true. I've probably met 2 Russian women, and one wasn't even Russian. She's from Moldova, but Soviet Moldova, but Moldova, not Russia. She speaks Russian. That's a generalization, right? I guess this will be the first piece you guys saw me do from scratch. That's kind of cool. actually had a dream about Anya last night. Last time I saw her at a meeting, she said she was going to the Hamptons. And I could tell she was super nervous about it, so I don't know, I kind of think like she's going there to meet a dude, which wouldn't surprise me at all, even though it's only been a few weeks since her and I stopped talking. But I had this dream that she went there, she fucked this guy, but the guy was stupid. Like, he had money and stuff, but he was dumb when it comes to women, and like he was broken up. And so I cornered Anya and I was like, hey, you're fucking using men all the time. Like, you're like destroying their inside integrity to get what you want, and that shit's not cool, right? And that's where I left it. I don't remember where she went after that, but all of a sudden, like, I was lost in the city. Maybe it's Moscow, I don't know. But I was lost in the city, and then I lost my phone, and then I lost my wallet, and then I had nothing but my clothes. Like, walking around trying to figure out how to get out of this foreign city. I don't think anyone spoke the language or anything. So I don't know what the fuck that means. What do we got? Nothing? We need a little spray paint, huh, buddy? Graphite, isn't that nice? So tired. Oh, the other cool thing though, I'm fucking mobile. I can work wherever I want. I got myself a Microsoft Surface laptop. God damn it. And it's got like a 10-hour battery life. So as long as I have that and my phone, fucking good to go. 6 figures anywhere in the world, baby. It's worth being late on rent, huh? If my rate of growth keeps going, and I think it will because I'm undercutting the competition and I still do an equally good job. I'll probably be making, let's see, this is 2022. 2023, probably end of 2024, I'll be really close to making 7 figures a year in my pocket. So the reason that is I make 6 figures on my own, but every person I hire and train, even after I pay them a living wage, like, you know, 50 to 70,000 a year, I still make 6 figures off of what they do. So sooner or later I'll have to calculate getting management in place, but the way I have it structured, I won't need much management. I can do that in a few hours. I'll need accounting. Someone who's not afraid to lie on taxes. But I think this is my Anya painting. I'm gonna have my rage, my disgust, hopefully, will come out. still think about her when I masturbate sometimes. I wonder if she knows that. I wonder what that's going to do to the audience when I say shit like that. I gotta go back to the gym. Fucking fat.
Just talking. If they hate it, you know they're watching. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Yo, we made it. They always talking. If they hate it, you know they're watching. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Fuck it. Enjoy the show. Camera action.
Oh, gotta have red, right? Where's the red?
If they hate it, you know they're watching. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Yo, we made it. They always talking. If they hate it, you know they're watching. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Fuck it. Enjoy the show. Camera action.
I think one of the things that pissed me off though a little bit too is she said she had more other men pursuing her while she was talking to me. And the thing is, even though I liked her, I never took a pursuing perspective because she was in recovery. And so, and she was younger than me, not like physically, but she had 2 years, I think, doing step work. I've had, I don't know, like 20. So I've always held her at distance because of that. And then, I don't know, one night she just sent me a bunch of pictures that were revealing. And then that shifted kind of the dynamic. Yeah, she kind of kept that pace where she was coming after me a little bit, which I like. I don't like doing the work. So I'm a Leo and I'm lazy. And I believe in astrology, which is stupid. You know what I want to do though? When I avoided all conflict with her. There's a couple times I mentioned something I saw and she just came back so quick with like a defense. I was like, I don't even want to waste my time delving into that. She's obviously not ready. But I've been noticing a lot. Like my ex-wife was super alpha and just driven, right? Super driven. And like she went from no college to full ride to UNC to graduate degree, also with full ride in like 5 years. So she was super talented, you know. And I told her that all the time. Like that's something I was really liked about her. But I liked it about her because I thought I didn't have it, right? There's this thing called. There's this fucking book. It's kind of stupid. Some of it's okay, which most things are. Most things are okay in some ways and bad in others. But it's called A Course in Miracles. A super hippy dippy whoopie woofoo. But they have this thing in it that they call a special relationship, which is. It's based out of selfishness, right? Like, so for my ex-wife, I felt like I didn't have the drive or necessary skills to do college or accomplish things that were that great, or the intelligence, you know? And the work ethic. It was the work ethic. And so I was attracted to that in her, and it was one of the reasons I kept dating her was because of that. But that's called a special relationship, because I thought I didn't have that, therefore like she was going to give it to me or something, you know? Or like fill in that void for me. But that's like a codependency type thing. And anyway, we were super codependent. Well, her and I would get in arguments. And she was a Taurus, I'm a Leo, so we were both really strong people, like energetically. But there was times I just wanted to like fucking hate fuck her, you know? Like just grab her and shove her against the wall. And I think she probably would have liked it, and I think it would have resolved a lot of the conflict we had. I'm starting to think that. I think the same as with Anya too. It's like, what if we were face to face and we were having sex? Like that door was open. Like what if we fucked, got that energy out, and then we're able to see what's underneath those, you know, whatever we were arguing about better. Because there's a lot of our resentments towards people and life and kind of like beliefs for this world are kept like in the area of our sex, like energetically, like the chakras down there. So what if hate fucking is the way out? And I used to do it often. When I say hate fucking, I don't mean like violence, you know, harming people. It's not what I mean. Although there's women I've been with that want that. It's not what I mean. To me, it's just aggressive. You know, I might have my arm around their throat. Gently, you know. And just kind of knowing. I don't know. I think I did it with Christina. And it did help out a lot. because we would have an argument or whatever, and then it wouldn't necessarily be hate fucking, but it's definitely strong emotion in that direction. And then afterwards we would come back and we'd be together like more. Then I read somewhere that was unhealthy and codependent, and so every time I want to do it now, I don't do it because I'm afraid I'm going to be unhealthy. And I think I'm just going to start throwing all that bullshit out of my head, because I think there's a lot of times there's people, they want to have a name for themselves in science and relationships and stuff, so they come up with an idea and then they write a book about it on a very shallow fucking level, and then, you know, the mass populace, you know, just drinks it up because they're stupid, like I was, and then, you know, the reality is the book is garbage. And now we have a shitty ideal system being circulated in our culture. What the fuck is that? What's it look like? There's good things, a lot of good things that came out of Anya too, though. She showed me what I do deserve, which is pretty high echelon women. I just gotta find one that's not high maintenance. But, you know, she found out I smoked cigarettes, and that I could tell that she judged that very strongly. And that was a big part of her backing away, you know, from romantic involvement with me. And so I was already trying to quit a little bit. Not a little bit, I was down to 3 or 4 a day. It was an experiment. I took anabolic steroids to help. I was like, well, I remember in school if people had like an asthma attack, they would get steroids or something. So I was like, well, maybe that'll help with my smoking, plus help me lose weight. Like, it's a win-win, right? And obviously I can't recommend doing steroids because they're illegal and dangerous, blah, blah, blah. But I was down to 2 cigarettes a day at the end of the cycle. So, you know, shit fucking worked. But it didn't work all the way, because as soon as the steroids started wearing off, I started smoking more. I talked to my friend Maritza. She's half Puerto Rican, half white. What she said was that was really hard for her growing up because she wasn't white enough for the white people and she wasn't Puerto Rican enough for the Puerto Ricans, and so she was getting teased about her race and skin color from both sides. I was like, man, that's kind of lame, you know? I asked her how she quit, and she's a doctor, so she said you take the patches. Or she said she took the patches and then put a full one on, waited till she didn't have any cravings, and then just cut like a little sliver off of the next one, put that on, waited a couple days till she didn't have any cravings, and then, you know, just kept cutting these little slivers off. And I never thought of that because on the directions it says like not to cut them, which I don't know why that would matter now that I think about it, but it worked. I did that. I had to start with 2 patches, and then I did it in quarters. So I got the brand name ones. They work the best, by the way. Nicoderm. But yeah, and then I would just take 25% off, wait a couple days, take 25% off. And I found that as long as I maintained this certain level of craving, I was okay. And then after, it was like, I think 10 days, I was off all of it. And now I haven't had one. It's probably been a month total since I've had a cigarette. And I'm guessing 3 weeks since I've had no nicotine in my system. And that you do notice. I woke up this morning craving nicotine really, really bad. I don't know why. And I'm fucking horny all the fucking time. I don't know if that's nicotine or not. So that's good enough for now. Looks like shit down here, but we'll fix it later. I know you guys don't like long videos. I think I'm gonna start telling women, 1, I don't believe in false kindness very often. And 2, Anya's like the 6th woman that said, I feel high in relation to connecting with me, I guess. So I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. It's really annoying though. Not even Paula can answer that one, or her wife. So peace out, bitches. Thanks for watching my fat head. My old face. food.